Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sexton Soccer Stories. For those of you that love the show and you are listening in, please subscribe. The numbers are going up, the viewings are going up, so please go onto my socials, subscribe on YouTube, Instagram. I would like to welcome the next guest. Is an absolute legend in the Scottish game. He's a former St Mirren, Kilmarnock, Hibernian, Clyde. It's an absolute great football legend of Scottish football, Andy Millen. Andy, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for getting us in. Thank you.
How was your journey in today?
Yeah, it was interesting. I've got a small blue old gas van. Coming back for training and drove to Rob Royston, where I used to live, and then get the train in, because obviously you're not allowed in with the van. But fine, great. 10 minutes and I'm in Glasgow.
Brilliant. So, as I said, 753 appearances in the Scottish football game. You must have started playing when you were about 5.
Started way back in 1983. Very fortunate. Got the opportunity to go to St Johnstone. I was at St Johnstone maybe for about, I think, 4.5 years, and then I moved on to Alloa for 2.5 years. Dom Sullivan signed me for Alloa, 2.5 years, and then came out of Alloa 1990. Got the opportunity to go to Hamilton. Billy McLaren signed me, Hamilton, and then moved from there to Kilmarnock. Tommy Burns and Billy Stark, 93. Left in 95 or 94 I think, 94, 95 to Hibs. Came out of Hibs, went to Wraith Rovers for 6 months. Then went to Ayr United for 2 years, just 2 seasons, and then moved to Morton for 2 seasons. Then went to Clyde for 3 seasons, and then went to St Mirren for 7.5 years, and then bobbed about a wee bit, and then I'm at Morton, back at Morton at the moment, where I've been for the last of March. I'll be there 4 years. Magic.
So I'm going to dissect your clubs during that time, but does it sound excellent in your mind of what your career has been, or did you just take it as the show here is about presenting a player's journey and then what they do after that? Does it feel just condensed like that, or do you ever take time to sit and do and say, wait a wee minute here, I've actually played some amount of games for some amount of Scottish clubs?
What we say, Brian, is without going back the way, I was at Easter Craigs for best part of maybe 6-7 years, where you know one of the boys I played with and was a really good friend who I've not seen for years, John Shaw. And I was at Easter Craigs from the age of 10 till I was 18. At 16 I wasn't one of the ones that got signed up with an S4 and were taken into a professional club. I went to Middlesbrough for a week with John Shaw, never got taken on, and there was a lot of boys all got S-forms or went into the pro game. There were 4 or 5 who left Easter Craigs till I was 18. Still never got the opportunity to go pro, so I went to Paul Juniors for 3 months, and then I got the opportunity to go to St Johnstone, who were in Premier League at that time.
Who was the manager at that time?
The manager at that time was Alec Rennie.
Okay.
Alec Rennie signed the Friday night, and then was put straight into the reserves at Ibrox, because in the days they had the Reserve League and the Premier League and the Premier Reserves League. So wherever St Johnstone were playing at home at the old Muirton Park, and I made my debut at Ibrox in front of 2 men and a dog. Right. But in between that, Brian, I was a part-time, so I was a fabricator welder at the trade. Served my time, started to serve my time in Garthamlock. The place shut after 2 years. I continued serving my time in the place in Kilmarnock, Taskers Trailers. So I didn't really go full-time till I was 27, 28. Okay. Last year at Hamilton. So I done it back to front. Yep. A lot of people, you talk about your career and what you've done and all that. I was very lucky that I done it the other way, I think, because I really, how would I say, embraced it, enjoyed it, and was grateful for that, because I knew what like it was to go and work 60 odd hours a week, working a Saturday, and people laughed. When I was at Hamilton, 25, there was myself, Billy Reid, who's the assistant manager to Graham Potter. Yep. You've got a boy called Paul McKenzie and a guy called John Horn. But they first 3, Andy Millen, Billy Reid and Paul McKenzie, basically played every week as part-time players in a full-time team at Hamilton. And we lost out in the Premier League between 91 and 92 season by 2 goals to go to the Premier League. But Billy McLaren was a part-time manager, and when he came to sign me, he said about going full-time. I said, I'd love to go full-time, 25. I said, much do you give? He says, £200 a week. I says, I can't do that. I said, because I was making more than that my job, because we were doing 60 odd. He said, well, would you go? Would you like to come part time? I said, I'd love it. And that's what I did. And in between that, Billy Reid, myself and Paul McKenzie, we would be working and then coming direct for work to training 2 nights a week.
Yep.
We never trained with the first team. We only saw the first team on Saturday.
So when we were at Morton, we used to train. The first team would train the full timers, and the part time guys would come in on a Tuesday and Thursday, but they made them do a double session, the full timers. So that didn't happen to yourself.
Right at the start of the season, it did. And then obviously, I can understand that being full time now. The players say, look, we're in the Thursday night, and then we come in the Friday morning, and they maybe said to Billy, it's not working for us. And Billy, to be fair, didn't worry. He just says, okay, the full timers, they'll just do their normal training, and we just done Tuesday to Thursday. And the Saturday, I would get up in the morning, I would leave for Rob Royson, go to Kilmarnock, work, and then what would happen with there, as soon as I finish at 12 o'clock, go home to my mother's for an hour and Kilmarnock, and then go and play.
Steal a dinner at your mum's and then go.
But you go and play in the championship, people didn't realise that.
Unbelievable.
So I did that along with Billy and Paul McKenzie, Wilfie.
So what did you do then you trained twice a week, did you do any additional work? So were you naturally just a fit guy then, do you think? I
think nowadays the game's changed remarkably now because everything is data driven, which it's got its good points but it's also got its bad points. And years ago you took players, managers took players out with their comfort zone. They took them into areas to see if they could probe them, they could take them and see if they were strong enough mentally to handle that. And no, I never done any extra. Everything was done. The Tuesday night, Billy McLaren made sure even the Thursday night he would put one floodlight on, and we would get a running session, and we were as fit as the full time players at Hamilton. No doubt about that, because we played every week, and the full time players, I think we had to earn their respect,
of course,
and their right, which I think the part time players did for the Hamilton teams. I say it was a really good team we played in, and lost out the Premier League, as I say, with 2 goals. So, and then you get the opportunity at the end. My last year at Hamilton, I'd lost my job, couldn't get a job anywhere, but I was married, obviously with a kid and all that, and I said to him, look, if I can't get full time, I'll be going down south, because my wife's dad, he was a painting decorator, to go and work with his business, and they gave us full time, but again, you had no bargaining, you get paid £200 a week, and that was it. But
that was it.
Listen, I was doing something I loved doing.
Absolutely.
It wasn't about the money.
And this, I've had previous guests on, and we don't join, and you didn't join in football to make the money the way it is now. You played football because you wanted to play football.
Of course, the money in the days, Brian, I don't believe was there anyway. I mean, I remember at St Johnstone, I think it was £25 a week, and the only reason I got my house, we bought our first house, me and my wife bought our first house in Rob Royson. It was a brand new Tilbury Douglas, 29,500, and the only reason I was able to get the mortgage, 100% mortgage, because I had the £25 a week off of St Johnstone.
Is that right?
That's life, you know what I mean?
Of course.
The one thing about nowadays, it's the landscape's totally different, and I don't begrudge anybody whatever they earn and all that, but I think you had some tough days, had some tough times as well, but the one thing I'm grateful for, I get the opportunity to play in the 80s and the 90s and in the 2000s. I wouldn't like to be a young boy now getting in the game, and I wouldn't like to be a manager or a coach starting out in the game now. It's different, completely different game. So you've been at
St Johnstone, played for a good while, and who was kind of in your team at that time?
Well, you maybe not remember him, Brian, but you had like Alec Caldwell, John Pelosi, John Brogan, a lot of older players.
So Brogan was my manager at Arbroath.
Well, Brogan was a striker. I used to travel up and down with John Brogan and John Pelosi, and they're Bucks fan. And let me tell you, I thought I was educated staying in the Red Road, 24 up. I wasn't educated. I was wet behind the ears.
Until you met they two,
Until I met they two. And it was just great working with senior players.
And what age difference were you? About 10 years in it?
Maybe more. Maybe more. But they were brilliant. And again, it took me the best part of the full season. I signed in around about October time from Pollock Juniors to go to St Johnstone. So for the October to the end of the season, I never got a sniff in the first team. They get relegated at the Premier League, and then went into the Championship or the old League One. And my debut was around about, I think, November time. That would be 94, 95 at Station Park. And obviously this guy at 19 thought he was ready to play in the first team and do that. Well, I got a culture shock that
A wee
day.
rude awakening.
Oh, aye. But it was great. It was great. You competed and all that, but a million miles away from reserve football to real football. And I keep saying that, and people don't understand that.
No.
You've got academy coaches, youth coaches, and we were all young at one stage.
Absolutely.
We've all got parents, but the people in academies who think they all should be playing first team football, it doesn't work like that. You've got to earn the right to play football, first team football. And also a lot of these academy coaches have played the game, so they should understand how difficult and how hard it is to play in a first team. And that's not to say that you only get an opportunity, but you need that wee break, but you also need good senior players around about you to help you.
Yep. So you had a successful time, I would say, at St Johnstone.
Yeah, I was there. It didn't finish off too well, but that's another story. Life moves on. There's those shots, and then I moved to Alloa.
Aye.
Dom Sullivan signed me, and after 2 weeks, Dom Sullivan got sacked, and Gregor Abel came in. But Alloa, brilliant club for me. Brilliant club, brilliant. I was there, I think, best part of 2.5 seasons, and they were brilliant. And again,
where did you train in at that time?
We trained either on Recreation Park, which was all grass pitch, which was a massive slope, round the Red Blaze, or we trained at Grangemouth Stadium on the Red Blaze. Just 2 colonels as a floodlight.
That's unbelievable,
but
isn't it?
Again,
it builds character.
Of course
There's no if nor buts about it, and if you're going to mess about with a challenge and you're on these parts, then.
But if I go back to when I was at Easter Craigs, we used to train at school.
In the school, that's right, I remember.
And there were poles in the school, there were big pillars and all that. You just got on with it.
Absolutely.
But you couldn't do that now because
they're mollycoddled.
They're mollycoddled, and also the people that run football clubs look up there or look down their nose at you sometimes. I mean, when you say that.
So how did the move from Alloa come about to get to Hamilton? Then were you playing really well at that time?
I was on a decent side again. Playing with good players, but I didn't think I was going to go full time because I was 24 going on 25. I was content working away.
It's always something you wanted to do.
I always wanted to be full time, but at the end of the day, I had bigger responsibilities.
Your family,
I had my wife there. I had a kid on the way.
Absolutely.
I also had a mortgage to pay like anybody else. So first and foremost, my mentality was I had to pay my debt. And again, you're brought up for the road. My mum and dad brought us up that you never had debt. So debt wasn't a thing. You had your house and that was it. If you wanted a telly, you wanted this, you had to save up to buy it. And every Friday you put your money by for a telephone, your telephone stamp, gas stamp, and all these things that are changed now. But that's the way you were brought up.
Of course,
your parents don't have debt because that'll bring problems to you. So, as I say, there was a boy called John Gibson who's a prison officer. He played at Hamilton, and he came out on loan to Alloa, and he had said to me at the tail end of the season, 89-90, he says, look, Hamilton want to sign you. He says, manager Billy McLaren, he says, good guy, he says, but crazy. So I says, I'd love to go. So we were away on holiday, me and my wife, and away on holiday. We came back, and we were doing it at Bournemouth. That's where my wife's mum and dad went to, and we were there. So I was away in Spain for 10 days, came back, because I used to take 3 weeks off my holidays.
Absolutely.
When I worked. That was me. That's only 3 weeks, that's the only holiday. So went away for 3 weeks. My wife was a nurse at the time, so she would get 7 or 8 weeks off, so she could do what she wants. So get a phone call from Billy McLaren. Says, Andy Millen, blah blah blah. He says, it's Billy here, how you doing? He says, really interested, want to sign. I said, brilliant. So I come off the phone. He says, look, just enjoy your rest of the other week's holiday, I'll see you the following week. So phone John Gibson. I says, Billy McLaren, what a really, really nice guy, really polite spoken. He was a manager in the tax office. He says, well, okay, you maybe got him. So I goes to sign for Hamilton, and knowing the Saturday goes in to sign, I can't mind who Hamilton were playing. It was the first pre-season game. Can't mind who it was. And I sign, goes round at the wee cafe round the side. Scott Struthers, who's still at the building there, he was there, signed, but the paperwork couldn't get registered for a certain time, so that was fine. But he says to me, you come and see how we do our work. So Willie McLean at that time, Tommy McLean's brother, Willie McLean, was the assistant manager. So I'm sitting in the dugout, and Billy was up in the main stand at the old Hamilton. So half time he's come in, and he's really went, I'm sitting there going, that's the first time I've seen this for a long time. He's went proper old show. Proper.
They weren't pulling their weight.
No.
Letting them see who the boss was.
he was going off in one, we'll say.
Okay, yep.
My first experience, I'm sitting there going, just a first pre-season game. And he said, I go at a guy called John McGackie. John McGackie's, I don't know what's happened. As I say, I'm sitting in the restaurant, I've been taken in. Shuggy Burns just took me in just to see, and Willie McLean say, look, see how we do the things and all that. And he's went to John McGackie, you just get your gear and get to right. That's at half time. I'm sitting there going, oof. And then he's turned away, turned back again. Good fullback called Kevin McKee, and he's went, that's for you. You've just got your effing coffin for this game. You just get your gear and get to out here. And I'm going, wow. So season starts, and I think the first 14 or 15 games, Hamilton had to get beat. So that's 1990 season. 91 season. I think Falkirk actually won the league that season. That was Simon Steenrod was the manager. I think
they had a nice team, Falkirk though as well, didn't they?
But anyway, my experience of Big Billy for the first 14, 15 games was tough. I was 25. I wasn't a wee guy or a young, but he gave me a really, really hard time.
And how did you find adapting to full time then?
No, I wasn't full time.
Oh, you were still
part time. That's what I'm saying. At Hamilton,
I
couldn't go full. No. So the first 2 years, I was part time. I got a really hard time. And times I would get home to my wife and go,
I
don't know what's going on here. No, I was strong enough to.
Of course,
I thought I'd come down and think, I'm doing no bad here. No. I get caned. I really caned. But to be fair to him, and I'll give him a lot of credit, who I still speak to. No, he was tough, but he helped me push me further because you get more out of me. And I'll always be grateful for that.
Yeah. Do you think he was one of the most influential managers in your career?
I would say he was one of them. But when you go further on, there was further on. There'll be a few other ones that were took me to another level.
Yep.
But so Billy squeezed and probed, and by the end up, I never get any stick off him. At the end up, you know what I mean. So the first season was a tough season for me. Yeah. But the second season, we had a fallout in the start of the second season where I was getting mucked about a wee bit because I didn't know that, no agents and that. And I met the boy John Park, who's a big guy that worked at Celtic, Rangers, and that. And he met me because he was wanting the Hamilton at the time. And I was at Petersall Juniors. I used to go and watch football. Went up Petersall Juniors, and he says to me, "How you getting on, Andy?" I'm fine. After my first season, done well. He says, "You going to St Mirren?" I says, "What are you talking about?" She says, "St Mirren have come in for you." Nowadays, I'm way behind here. You didn't know 25, going to 26 then. And he obviously looked at my face and went, "Oh no, nothing about this."
Yep, aye.
But usual, just get your head down. Went. So the start of the season, my first Paula was obviously due. She was due then, and my wife was something like 5-6 weeks overdue. So Billy had been mucking me about a wee bit. You're not playing, you're playing in the friendlies. And I said to him, "Look, see if I'm going to be like that, don't bother putting me in the bench." He went, "What? Don't bother putting me in the bench." So the season's just started. They went up to Dundee on the Saturday, and the Friday, the day before that, my daughter been born, Paula, in 91. August 91, and just left her on the Saturday. Had went up and seen the Wayne up at Stop Hill. Went to go in the bus, and he came off the bus. He says, "You're not playing today." I said, "That's fine. I went back in the motor, seen the Wayne." So I don't mean I didn't care. I did care, but it wasn't my job, but my priorities. But I wanted to play, and I felt as if I wasn't getting a fair crack. But anyway, cut a long story short, went back to the hospital. Wife's like, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm not playing today, so I'm not going." Look back now, was that the right thing? No, it wasn't the right thing, but that was me, stubborn or whatever you want to call it. Played on the Monday against the Partick Thistle at the old Helen Vale on the car park, and did alright. And then I got the shout after the game, no for Billy, for Colin Miller, who would take the reserves. You have to go tomorrow. Played Celtic in the League Cup. I played the Tuesday night. It was me back in the first team. Played on the Tuesday night. Get man of the match that night as well. Lost 1-0 to your Celtic Jakanowski, that Dovcek. Next day, Callum, Big Boy Elliott, all that, and that was me back in.
So you're playing against the guys, and obviously I've heard stories, and used to watch them. What was Paul McStay like to see up close?
Paul McStay for me was a wonderful, wonderful player, a top player. He was quiet, assuming, tough as nails. But for me, his nickname was the Heart. That's what people called him. I didn't know him that way. Played against him, hello, and that. I wouldn't honestly say he's a friend and such, but top player. That's the biggest compliment I can give him.
Yep.
He probably never got enough credit. He never, maybe at times, didn't play in enough top Celtic sides.
Yeah.
But he's a top player. Top player.
Yep.
Top player.
So you got to play, was it at Celtic Park that game?
No, that game. That was at the old Douglas Park.
Douglas Park.
Old Douglas Park, but it's full. It was
of
good.
Course,
You know what I
it
mean?
was. You were getting great crowds at that time.
Brilliant.
Aye,
I mean,
so
and it's a really good team.
were you then thinking at that point, I don't want to stop here, I'm enjoying what we're doing here?
No, I did, although I'm saying about what happened at Hamilton, I loved it at Hamilton. Hamilton, brilliant.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. I used to, it'd be brilliant even though I was part-time. That's what I'm saying. But that season, 91-92 season, Hamilton, I played with a really good team.
Good side.
Some
fantastic players.
And then I was very lucky to play in a team that had Jordan McCluskey, who, if nobody knows, let me tell you, they talk about top strikers. He was top draw. Unbelievable. Toby, his nickname, Jordan McCluskey. Wonderful player. What a player.
So they were saying that he was just a laid back, lovely guy.
Laid back. That's, if you go into the next club I went for there, I was very fortunate. I travelled every day with him and Mark Riley Mavis. So he Toby, Mavis and Gash.
That's fantastic, isn't it? So how did the move to Killie come about then?
Move to Killie came about, my contract was up 93. The usual, you sign a 2-year contract, but you don't even know that the Hamilton will put in an option, but the option's no yours, the option's theirs. So by the time the 2-year came up, I'd had a couple of phone calls, one from Motherwell and one from Partick Thistle, John Lambie, saying about blah blah blah, about coming. I went, I've still got another year because I got told they're taking on another year. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah,
so I'm happy.
Would you have went though?
I think anybody you want, but at that time Partick Thistle were going into the Premier League.
Absolutely.
So, cut a long story short, at that stage of I was, when I got taken on full time in 92-93 season, Billy McLaren and Billy Stampton were moved out. Whatever happened to politics, they were basically sacked for a team that had lost out to go into the Premier League with 2 goals. They sacked him, brought Ian Monroe in, and again Ian Monroe was the first coach that I worked under that taught the game. Great coach.
So after the 6 clubs, and then that's the kind of
great coach. So I worked with Ian for a year to 93, and then my contract was up, and I've got a kid. We have to move from Rob Royston to Kilmarnock to get a bigger house because the Waynes came, and then there's another one going to come soon. So what happens with that is I'm not saying nothing. And Hamilton that time, they've not got a lot of money, which they haven't. And times you were getting your cheque at the end of the month.
Yeah,
it wasn't bouncing, but you had to wait till lastminute.com before you get paid. And I'm going, I never had that when I worked, and I was part-time. So it's different when you're full-time because your whole responsibility then changes for working overtime and all that. Football, you're dependent on that. And some clubs, that's what happens at some clubs. Even new, it's no nice.
No, it's not.
And it's no right either. But when you're an employee, that should never ever happen like
Never.
that. So I then go to at the end, I'm playing pre-season at Hamilton, but nothing's happening. I'm not signing. And then Ian says to me about going to Tranmere, Tranmere Rovers for 2-3 days. He says, they want to sign you, but they want to see you. I went, Ian, don't hang at me cheeky. I said, I'm 28 now, I can't go on trial. I says, no, that I'm good. I'm not saying good. I says, I'm not doing that. I said,
Either want you, they don't want you.
And I don't mean that in a big way. No. So on the Monday or Tuesday night we're playing in a friendly closed door game against Kilmarnock, and Kilmarnock were just in the Premier League at that season.
Yep.
And we played the Tuesday night, and that Tuesday before the game, Billy had phoned me. I'd moved to Kilmarnock, and Billy Stark, if you don't know Stark, a brilliant guy, and he phoned you and went, how you doing? I went, fine. She said, you know who this is? I don't know who this is. I said, it's Billy. Starky, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I said, look, Tam wants to speak to you. Tam and me want to speak to you. So I went to the McDonald's Hotel in Newton Mearns, which is no longer there, I don't think.
For the listeners, Tommy Burns.
Tam Burns.
Yep.
So
if he comes calling, you're going to go and
So the one thing he said was, typical Tam and Billy, look, your timekeeping's not the best, so you know we might be a bit late, but all being, remember, we're playing them that night. We're playing Kilmarnock in the closed door.
In the closed
doors.
Rugby Park. Right.
Before they kick off in the Premier League on the Saturday. So he talks to him when he comes in right away, pulls a contract out, says, look, we're not leaving here till we get this signed. Andy, sitting there and...
No agents in that day?
No, I'm 28 and
of
just
course,
nothing. I'm just wanting to play football, and he sat, and you're thinking, God, I used to go and watch you. I mean, White Park kids.
Absolutely.
What a player. Starkey was the same. Although my hero was Danny McGrain, but they were up there. And then he says to me, we can give you 300 quid a week, we'll give you £5,000 a now, if we stay up we'll give you another 5,000. I went, right, okay. I can't mind the appearance money
And the bonuses, etc.
Bonuses, but the bonuses were weekly, they're going to be quarterly, and they're going to be end of season bonus. So I went home, and again it was all over the place, and Ian Monroe's obviously trying to push me to Tranmere, because I would imagine they would get more money there.
Absolutely.
Whereas if Kilmarnock go, they can't agree a fee, they'll go to tribunal. So I guess home, plays the game on Rugby Park.
How did you play?
I did alright, did okay, it was good. No, it was good, great place to
was
play.
Was there any
Rugby Park.
winks and
no,
how you doing and all
no,
that?
what I do remember is it must be chat about the place anyway, and I remember typical Bobby Williamson, who'd be quite blunt and brash.
Aye.
Bobby, if you don't know Bobby's a
Straight
poker
to the
face.
point.
No, he's good, he's brilliant. And I remember him, he was sitting just as you go up the old tunnel, as what as I knew, he was sitting right next to it, and I was walking up after, he went, what you effing doing? You know, coming here, just get signed up and go. But I really, about the place, Kilmarnock's a good club, big club, and you think, well, because I played, Hamilton played Kilmarnock the last game of that season for them to get promotion. They had to no lose to stay up, and the first 20 minutes they got a fright because Hamilton were at it, full house.
Yep.
But I had that picture of a full capacity crowd at the old Rugby Park.
Frightening.
Be brilliant. So played the game, the friendly, the closed door game, the Tuesday before they went to Premier League. I came home, went with my wife, I'm going to Kilmarnock. She went, what? I said, I'm going to Kilmarnock. So went into Hamilton the next day, and I phoned Starkey to say, look, I want to come. Brilliant. So I went into Hamilton the next day to let them know, and I went to Kilmarnock the Thursday morning. I went in the Thursday morning, there's an old guy in there who was a groundsman, a guy called Gus Hollis, who could be blunt. A great guy, still keep in touch with him, old guy, really good guy. He'd done everything at the place, whether it was stadium or looked after the place. And then what happened was, I comes in the front door and he went, what you want, son? I went, I'm in here to see the manager in Billy Start. Took me into the home dressing room, just sit there, son, and walked off and left me. That was my introduction into Kilmarnock.
Hi, welcome.
And then Tam and Billy came in, and that was it. That was me.
So, see when you met them two, see if it'd been another two, manager and assistant manager, do you think you'd have still signed?
I don't know, Dad. Mate, I knew Billy. Even to this day, Billy Start's a top guy.
Aye.
And then you've got Tam.
You're obviously a very modest guy. Were you thinking at this point, this is Tommy Burns, Billy Stark, Celtic legends, Scotland legends, they actually want to sign me for this club? Were you thinking at this time?
Listen, you talk. I've been really, really lucky. Talk about Tam. That's I only worked with Tam a year, but what he gave me in a year was unbelievable. I could never repay that.
Yep.
And Billy the same.
Yep.
And even the new,
I can see you getting quite emotional about that. So that's just a fantastic testament to the character of the man, and obviously the previous guests I've had on, I've spoke highly of him as well, and I think they're looking for a sainthood for him now, which would be absolutely.
What Tam done for me, he believed in me as the same as anybody. But Tam and Billy, they don't make out Tam. In my eyes, Tam was brilliant, but Tam was ruthless. Tam was tough. Don't ever think that Tam as a manager was. Tam could tell me to go up the top of the roof, jump off of that, you'll bump your head and you'll be fine. No bother, you tell me whatever you want to do. But he could be tough. He could bark and all. So don't be fooled with his nickname was called Lecter because you would go foam at the side of the mouth. Aye. But what a guy! What he done for me? I was still the same guy as I was at St Johnstone, at Arlo, Hamilton. I wasn't any different guy. But he took me. He gave me that opportunity, him and Billy, to play in Scotland, the highest level, against top players. Yep. And I got that opportunity to see if I could play at that level and test yourself against that level, which anybody wants to do. But he just gave you that belief. Gave you that belief.
What position were you playing at that time?
I played one position for him.
Centre half.
Centre back. Yep. I played left centre back.
Left centre back.
Raymond Montgomery right centre back. Gus McPherson right back. Tam Black was left back. And he left back.
Goals.
And goal with Bobby Geddes, the claw.
That's it. And then up front, Bobby Williams.
No, in the middle you had Mavis Mark Riley.
You had
Skillen. Right hand side was Mitchell, Ali Mitchell, the bull.
Aye.
And then you had Sean McSkimmon who could tramp up and down as well. And then up top you had Bobby and George.
And you've obviously got a fantastic blend of experience and youth in that team.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That it's a massive thing that so many clubs now don't want. I know that for a fact. I know.
Well, they don't want the experience.
No, you've got to be 24 or under. You've got to be 30 and under. I've got a lot of good bump.
And you're obviously you were a very fit team as well, very strong, right? Do you feel that it's all about the fitness now?
No, but what Tam done it? What Tam and Billy done it at Kilmarnock? When you go in there and you're older, we weren't the best, but what we were the fit and we were structured. I laugh now. We played 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1, whatever you want to call it, and we pressed the game. We pressed the 11 daylights out of teams. And I hear them now talking about pressing. I could do pressing with my shirt because every Thursday we would train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. Thursday we train in the morning. Every Thursday afternoon for the start of the season to the end of October. We trained every Thursday afternoon.
Double sessions.
And all that was working the back four, up pressing. On that day the offside was more simpler. You squeezed up, left from them behind, were offside. Then you put in one midfielder, Mavis. Then you put in 2 midfielders, and then you'd have 10 versus 6. So you're just constantly, and then you put in your 2 wide guys until eventually you're basically going back 4, a middle 4, and a front 2. But we knew the clockwork. Everybody knew their job. I could even do the new. I could go and do it. But the one thing that you had to be able to do that was run. And if you didn't run, you wouldn't play. But now they wouldn't want to do that. They couldn't do that because the mentality is different now.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Different, Brian.
And you have obviously, if you know yourself, you don't really need to fall out with too many folk if you're playing in that era, because you know as well as the next person that if you're not performing, you only need a wee look for somebody, and you know, self-pride and
you had that. I mean, maybe this would tell you, Matt Riley, the times we would just shout at each other just to get something going.
Because that'll be reaction.
Just all of a sudden you would just go and then have a go, and then all of a sudden the other team or whatever we're looking a bit.
So you've got another legend there, Celtic legend George McCluskey. Did you car share with him then with Mavis? And I car shared
with Mavis and John McCluskey from 93 to when I left. George left. He left about 94. Mavis I travelled with him and all.
It's fantastic.
But brilliant. No, but I remember the time Mavis's car, he had a Volkswagen Jetta, broke in East Kilbride Expressway about maybe 100 yards for the roundabout, doing it the Bodle. And typical Volkswagen Jetta, heavy car, gets out. Me and Mavis are pushing the motor and Toby's in the front of the seat with his window down. Right, keep going. That's just typical.
It's brilliant.
Typical Toby.
It's fantastic.
George. But
amazing.
What a player. What a player.
I can imagine.
Unbelievable. Really good. Really good, Brian.
Just scored goals and set up goals and just
a top guy. I know you Celtic, you had your Charlie Nicholases, your Alan McCoys and all that, but McCluskey for me was just wow.
Brilliant.
Wow. And again, somebody that you watched as a younger boy, to actually play with him first and foremost at Hamilton, I'm looking, I'm going, I can't believe I'm sitting the same playing the same pitch. And then I go to Kilmarnock in the Premier League, and he was just great character, wonderful human being. That's the biggest thing, biggest compliment I give him for what he achieved, what I thought he achieved. So humble.
Brilliant.
And that's what you normally find the top players. I was told that a long time ago. The top players and the top people are humble. They never forget where they come from. They're just what they are. They don't try to be anybody else.
No, just human.
Just human. Brian.
So you were talking about cars travelling there. There was a wee story about one of the players get his licence taken away from him, and he had a wee kangaroo court for him.
And I imagine Mavis just maybe told you that. what actually, quickly again, what actually happened? He lost his licence, and he never lost his licence with drink driving. He lost his licence with something that happened to Hamilton, but that's for another day. That,
of course, yeah.
And then what happened? He comes into Kilmarnock. So there's George, myself, Mavis, and Naps, Craig Napier. So he comes in, and I think I'm not sure if he started driving at the start and then he lost his licence anyway when you get banned. So he starts driving. We say, look, petrol money? No, petrol money. I says, well, look, there's me, Mavis and Toby. I says, you'll need to forfeit something. So what we used to do with him on a Thursday, you wash the motor on a Thursday, clean the motor out. So I mean, George's motor was like Fred West in there, man. You wouldn't know what you would find in George's motor. You know what I mean? Mavis' motor was clean enough, tidy, even mine, but George's motor was unbelievable. He had a big Nissan car, but whatever. So this going on, he's no paying any petrol money. And it's my turn to drive. So we drive, pick up Bordeaux, go up the back of East Kilbride and then go through Eaglesham. So on the way home, obviously the new 77 wasn't there. So you come off and then go the back roads into Eaglesham. And we're humming and hawing and saying to Naps, I says, petrol, I'm not paying any petrol money. I says, listen, we're all driving the motors. Yep. I says, we've all got to pay fuel, we've got to pay bills, and I'm not doing that. So one thing led to another, I just stopped the motor, stopped in Eaglesham, right next to the telephone box. I went, He went, what? So it's raining, snowing? He went, I'm not getting out. I says, you're not getting out. So I just pulled him out, I went, go and phone your missus, she can pick you up. So the next day we get in, the court comes up, we have the kangaroo court.
Yep, aye.
And then he goes, Tom's like, you can't do that. I says, I'm driving my motor every day or whatever, taking a shot. Him, he's getting the same as me. Yeah. No, that's not happening. Chance. So they had the court. I can't mind how it all went, Brian, but that's the story at Eaglesham.
It's standards on it. Standards, and it's you've got to live
as I always say, Brian, just be yourself and treat somebody how you want to treat yourself. And I don't mean that. What I mean is, I'm working the same as you.
Yep.
I'm not looking for anything more, but you can't get free lifts Monday, Friday for a year. No chance. No problem. No. So that's what happened then.
A wee learning curve from.
A wee learning curve. Everything was sorted out.
I'm absolutely delighted to tell you that I've got a sponsor for my next 5 shows, Community Care Choice. They provide exceptional first-class choice care in the Glasgow community. So we're moving on to how you managed to come to Hibs.
What happened with Hibs? I was at Kilmarnock 93-94 season. I had a brilliant season along with the rest of the boys. Played every game that season. Stayed in the Premier League, which was a fantastic achievement. Then Tam and Billy had went to Celtic. I was on holiday with the wife and the Waynes. Got a phone call. That's us away. I went, what? I was devastated because a lot of the players had a close connection. No. I don't mean a friendship. I didn't mix it up, but just the two of them are brilliant for me. Brilliant, as I'm sure most of the group that would tell you. So then what happened is during the close season, doing your pre-season, and then no manager. Bobby was taking it with George McCluskey. We were in Ireland and the new manager got appointed, which was Alec Totten. Cut a long story short, Alec Totten had moved me out. We'd fell out at St Johnstone. Basically says to me, if you don't sign the contract, you'll never play football again. So me being me at the work, I says, I'll not be back. Yeah, so I was at the game for about 2 months till Dom Sullivan came and signed me for Alloa. So I've had a good season, been involved with Scotland B, blah blah blah. Yep. Who turns up? Alec Totten turns up.
Scotland B game was in Wales, is that
Wales,
right?
Aye.
Yep.
Wales.
And you get beat?
Beat 1-1.
Is that why you never played for us again?
No, there's another story to that. There's another story to come on to that if you've got time. But then what happens is, as I say, Alec Totten come in and I'm quite a person of principle in life. And at times I maybe learned a wee bit more. I maybe try and give younger ones maybe advice whether it's right or wrong now. But when he came in the building, I didn't want to be there.
No.
And nothing to do with Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock was brilliant. I was caught in the crossfire because what happened with Tam and Billy, I was caught in the crossfire. Yep. But I didn't know nothing about Celtic.
No.
And we had a meeting in Ireland his first day, and he says, I'll need to have a meeting with 1 or 2 years. And they meet with me, and he says to me, look, you've done brilliant since you've left St Johnstone. And I always remember the day coming up on a Tuesday night and saying to me about signing, look son, you'll play, you'll be the captain, you're still the captain, blah blah blah. I said, look, I'm only looking for a sign-on fee the same as what you're giving everybody else. I said, I've one sign-on fee since I went to St Johnstone in 83, and that was for 250 quid. And I actually get £350 signed for Pollock all the years ago. Aye. I said, I'm only looking for, because I'm married, you're getting nothing. He says, if you don't sign the contract, I'll finish you, you'll put you the game.
Oh, magic.
So that's what happened to you. I understand all that. Aye. I went, no bad. So he turned up, and I've still got that in my head. And he spoke to me, and he says, done brilliant, blah blah blah. And my worst to him was, is that you finished? He went, aye. I says, well, I don't want to play for you. I says, this club has been brilliant for me. I says, I love the club, the fans have been brilliant. I said, but you, I don't want to play for you again. But I've got a year in my contract and I'll honour that. I'll keep my head down. I've got my wife, Wayne's, that's what I've got to look after. I said, but as for you, we don't have any dialogue. And there was nothing there. No. But what actually happened was, as the season started, George McCluskey says to me, have you had any phone call for Celtic? I went, no, nothing. Again, no agents or nothing. You know, I was desperate to take it into Celtic. So I went champing the door, and they went, aye, Celtic, they want you, but you're not going anywhere. I said, look, you paid 75,000 for me. I says, been brilliant. I said, I've loved my time. I said, they're offering 350,000. I says, I don't want, I've no bit of money for me. I just want an opportunity to see if I can go and play at that level again, because you went and played at Kilmarnock level. Can you take that? Can you take that? You might know, you might fail. You're not going anywhere. And rightly or wrongly, I spoke to TV, and I was honest.
Absolutely,
I was honest. But was it right? Look back now, no, it wasn't right. I shouldn't have done that in terms of being too honest. I should have just left it. I should just let my contract run down. That was me sin died. Never played again. I played 65 games in a row for Kilmarnock, and I got took into the room and got told, I'm going to get you and your motor out of here, and you'll never play for this club again. And that was me. So I trained from about November time, end October, early November, right through to February with kids in the school and all that. And I was in Christmas Day myself, Boxing Day myself, everything. But that's life. I made that decision.
But having known you now in this short time, and then obviously speaking about your career, I take it you fought that with a challenge that you relished, looking after the young boys, giving them some advice.
Didn't bother me. I went and played in the reserves, no, I didn't. No.
And that's it. That's just it. Fantastic.
I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't the players' problem. My problem, my problem, Brian. I don't look to put anybody. The one thing I've never done in my life is if I'm going to get a hit, I'll take a hit myself. I'm not putting anybody underneath the bus, you know. And that was it. The Celtic thing was on off. It was on and off. And then Celtic pulled away from it. And unfortunately, if you get maybe the opportunity to see if you could play at that level, never got that. But that's life. And then out the blue, I come back for training one Thursday, and out the blue I got a phone call Thursday night. I don't know, don't ask me how this came about. Would I go to Ipswich? I went to Ipswich in the Premier League. George Burley was a manager. George Burley wants to do for a month on loan. I couldn't believe it. I'm going, what's going on? I come back home. I just got my son. He's literally, I don't know, 4 month old, 5 months old.
About 95?
94, 95? I've been going 95, about February 95. Got a phone call at the blue. Thursday night in my house. There's no mobile phones.
No, of course.
Would you go to Ipswich? I went, aye. I never even thought of my wife in the two veins. I left her. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to Ipswich. So basically, I got a suitcase ready. I went to the Glasgow airport. I went for Glasgow airport to Stansted. George Burley picked me up at some like 8:30 in the morning and took me straight to Portman Road. So I was there for a month. Never played, but I was there.
How did you find that?
Remember, I was a different world again.
Was it out your comfort zone, do you think?
Oh, aye. I mean, I'd never left the Red Road. I was a guy
Glasgow
who
boys,
was there with
when your holidays
my
to
mum,
Cumbernauld,
my wife, Wayne's and everything else and all that, and all of a sudden, but you're in the Premier League.
Aye, of course.
Southampton, Newcastle, Man City, and the last game was when I came back up on the Friday, and everybody will remember it, is when Man United beat Ipswich 9-0. I came back up on the Friday before that game, but it was great. George Burley, lovely guy, good club. You could see it was a good club, really good club. And then I come back in, and that was me. I was just playing away in the reserves, and then out the blue,
Hibs came. Who was your manager at Hibs?
Alec Miller. Brilliant
manager.
Top coach. As a man manager, Alec could be a bit difficult. No bad, but just didn't give you much away. But I was really lucky going to Hibs, where I worked underneath Alec Miller, Jockey Scott and Donald Park.
It was brilliant.
Three top coaches, and I learned so much about the game, the coaching of the game. And again, you come out of Kilmarnock's a big club. I went to Hibs and I went, bigger again.
Big club,
bigger again.
Did they need to pay a fee for you then, Hibs?
They paid 350.
350
But if I had waited to the end of the season,
did they got you for nothing?
Well, somebody would have maybe got me for nothing. But again, I was just desperate to get out and play football.
Of course, aye.
I get told, my old man says, just stay here. Just take your chances at the end of the season. Says, before you know, Celtic might come in. I went, I'm not doing that.
It's
now.
A long time into it.
It's a long time. You never know football.
Playing,
you don't know when you're not playing.
No.
And I understand that, because the game days was different. You had to go and play. Nowadays it's different now, because I didn't look at football as a job. What I would say to anybody who's working now in football, you would always get told, Brian, go elsewhere and go and get a game of football. It's not like that now, because it's not as easy. Clubs are so tight with everything. So what I would say to somebody new is, you just got to sit tight, earn your corn, keep your head down, keep your mouth shut, earn your wage, and see where it goes. Don't just jump ship and leave. The club's still got to pay you, and it's important when you're earning a living.
Of course, absolutely.
But I went to Hibs, and my first game was against Motherwell at home. I think we drew. That was the time Motherwell finished second and Hibs finished third. Actually,
it's about 15,000 at that game.
Aye, and then played against Hearts at home, and we beat Hearts 4-1. And I always remember after the game getting into the dressing room, Hearts dressing room after the game, and I knew Colin Miller, and wow, John Cahoon, Craig Levine, Mackay, Robertson, they're all sitting there. And I went in with the shirt and tie, but the game's all done. Oh, Colin Miller's like, what are you doing? He says, game's done. Oh, he says,
you don't do that.
But I didn't realise how big. You think Celtic and Rangers big?
Aye.
No playing that kind of derby. Hibs Hearts. Oh, wow. That's big.
Was it big?
Oh, it's big. Oh, there's no love lost there. You've got a
jam.
Jambo, you get
booked. Is that the one you get booked in?
Oh, no, I mean, but we won that. And then that same season, I was really lucky. Where the season before I played for Kilmarnock, 93-94 in the Scottish Cup semi-final, went to replay, and I'd done the same at Hibs. We played Celtic Ibrox, went to replay. But good times. Good. I played with good players at Hibs as well.
Hibs and Hearts, was that the biggest game you played in the sense of the ferocity and the atmosphere? And
I played in a few derbies. I played in big games. Hibs and Hearts big game, but Kilmarnock Ayr
was massive.
I played the name. I've never lost a derby for
St Mirren.
Big.
Yeah, big.
Played them all,
and for the listeners, they don't realise there's 15, 16,000, 10,000, 15,000. It wasn't all.
I mean, quickly going on to the derby games, Hibs and Hearts is just incredible. And you go to Tynecastle, it's just unbelievable. With the Old Firm, Tynecastle's brilliant.
I like it.
So you've got everything.
You're so close to
you've got everything on top of you. You know, and the noise, the ferocity of the game. No, a lot of football played in the games because there's that much at stake.
Did you feel that you were at that point in your stage of your career, your age, your experience? Did you feel I belong now where I am?
What I would say in my Hibs career, I started off really, really well and was going well. And then we played Hearts in a Sunday game. Alec Miller had pulled me in the Saturday and says to me, look, you're getting called up for the next squad. The main squad.
The main squad, the national squad.
I'd been going well, playing with good players and good team, and it was going well at that time. And then what happened was I done my knee in the Hearts after, I think it was something like 35 minutes gone, and something I would never do again. And I've never done my career again where the ball went out at the Easter Road at the tunnel bit for one of the boys got injured, and they went to give us it back and they threw it back to me, but as I went to get it and switched the play from right to left, the boy Alan Lawrence came from behind, and as I kicked it, he caught my right leg and my whole right leg rotated round. So I'd done my cartilage and my medial, and I was out for 18 weeks, and I never really got back on the bike after that. No, I was my first game back, believe it or not. I played a reserve game the Wednesday afternoon. I played for 45 minutes, and Alec Miller says you're playing Sunday again on telly against Hearts. So I went, what? She's we're playing. So I played in the middle of the park, and Mike O'Neill gets sent off that game for, I don't know what he was doing, but I remember him breaking his foot for volleying the fire extinguisher.
That's right, aye.
Going up the tunnel. Up the tunnel. But as I say, I never really got back on the bike again. But it was a great experience playing for a big club.
Big club.
I mean, as I said, I never got the opportunity to play at a Celtic or Rangers.
No.
But the next best thing out of that is, and they are big clubs.
Massive clubs.
People don't realise just how big they are. The expectation demands as well there.
Yep. So I'm not going to concentrate too much on after that. You kind of played a couple of games, Wraith and Ayr.
But Ayr, just quickly.
Is where it started. No, I'm going to go into Ayr because obviously you've got a real affinity for Ayr as well. So you went to Wraith and then you went to Ayr. So what happened to Ayr then? It gave you that kind of...
Ayr was brilliant.
Were you welcomed after being an ex-Killie player?
No, there was nothing like that. What actually happened was I was 6 months at Wraith Rovers. They were going down a different road. They wanted to do their so-called older players. And I think they had a bit of trouble with debt regarding the two stands because Bill Barr, he built all the stadiums apart from Ayr United's. And I got a phone call for Ian Monroe, who was the assistant manager to Gordon Dale, because he'd obviously worked with me
for years.
And he says to me, look, I want to sign you. I spoke to him. He says, I can give you the same money as what you're on at
Hibs?
Wraith.
Wraith first time.
He says, you get that for signing on. He said, but we'll give you a 2-year contract. And all my mind was, and even to this day I speak to my wife, she never had a clue what was going on. And nowadays my mentality, because I came out of part-time football, I just needed somebody to give me an opportunity to get 2 years. And if somebody offered me another 2 years, I would just go there, because I was thinking about how am I paying my bills.
Absolutely.
For that. So rather than what goes on now, the hang off, I wouldn't do that. So if somebody came and says to me, your contract's run down, we'll give you 2 years, we'll give you 2.5 years, I'll just go there and play.
Yep, absolutely.
So I went to Ayr, and in that season Gordondale had used something like 56, 60 odd players, and it was a good side. Played Kilmarnock, they came down as Scottish Cup holders, and we beat them 2-0. I was a captain, chucking it down.
And how did that feel?
Oh, I mean, people say I love my time at Kilmarnock, but people don't understand me as an individual. Whatever club I'm playing for, I want to win. I've not got a mate in the world. Even if you
and I've spoke to loads of players that you've played with, and
you speak to Mark Riley, I've not got a mate in the world. Even when I play with my own teammates, I've not got a mate.
No, but you're in a competitive sport. You want to win.
I want to win, and there'll be times that, like anybody else, I'll go to the edge, and maybe sometimes over the edge. But I would always say I fly with the crows, I get shot on them, and there's times when you get bumped about. I don't complain about it. I just the one thing, once the game's done, I'll come and shake your hand. If you don't want to shake my hand, it's fine. But in that competitive nature, you want to win. But Ayr was brilliant. And then the next season, that would be 98-99 season, Gordondale and Ian Monroe got a right good side, and we were flying against somebody, one of the best strikers I played with, John McCluskey.
Were you part-time or full-time still?
No, full-time.
You were still full-time then.
But Andy Walker, oh, what a player.
Was he
but I knew Andy.
Of course.
I played with Andy at Easter Craigs, and Andy was a top player. Great football player.
A lot of people forget he went there, and what a career.
Well, we played for a season. You had Gary Teal on the right-hand side, Andy Lyons left-hand side, Glenn Hurst through the middle, he had the legs. In the middle was me and John Davis. You had a boy called Robertson, the right back, and then John Robertson, and then you had it could be Davy Winnie, it could be Colin Muller, and then at the back you had Davy Craig,
who played in
big
beside
boy
you
Welsh,
there then.
me and John Davis,
Yingy,
brilliant, good player, really good player. But that team had everything, could play, blah blah blah, goals, pace, and we were really doing really well to Boxing Day when we played Hibs. But Hibs had Alec McLeish, they had Latipi, they had
a nice side,
Pat Linen, they had Frank Susie, played against that. Frank Susie standing in the tunnel, you're like,
oh, he's massive,
he's bigger than you think. And they battered us, they blew us away 3-0. They went on and won the league. Well, but that team, I still say to this day, if Gordondale had kept that team together and added 2 or 3 onto that, they wouldn't have been far away.
When the next season maybe up to the Premier League again.
But after that season, as I say, we played Kilmarnock again in the Scottish Cup 2 year running and beat them twice. 2-0 first year.
There was
the next year was 3-0.
11,000 at that game.
Brilliant. Oh, Somerset's. I hope that Scott Brown's, I know he's played in big games, but I hope Somerset is full, and it's
Friday night.
It's magic. It's a brilliant stadium. Really old school. It's the same as Capel, of course. If it's full.
If it's full, it's brilliant.
Somerset in day 2 games were full and brilliant.
Amazing. Great affinity. So you kind of went then, obviously, to where you're the assistant manager now. You went to
I went again. Billy Stark was the manager.
Right.
Contacted me, and that time wasn't a good time because my mother had been fighting cancer for a couple of years, and then that year, as I says, I couldn't commit to anything, and Billy said, look, blah blah blah, come along, and I did sign him. I did sign for him. I wanted to play underneath him because I learned so much.
Absolutely.
I wanted to go to the next stage, and then unfortunately my mum passed away at 51 in 99, July the 9th, 99, and that probably knocked us back a wee bit.
Of course it does.
For that aspect. And what happened at Morton, it was alright, it was good, but what I went into, it wasn't what it was expected. I think Billy get promised a lot, but never got what he was promised. He's such a quiet guy. Billy would never say that, but when I look back at it, Billy started to deserve better than where to go. The boy Hugh Scott took over, eventually took the club into administration. Billy was no part of that, but he was a manager. I went there, and it wasn't a nice time to be at the club. It wasn't a nice time. And then Ian McCall came in and he took over. Then Ian McCall left, and then Alan Evans came in and took over. And it was going downhill. And again, what I've said before is my main objectives was my wife and my kids. I've got to provide for them, and I got an opportunity to leave and I went to the administrator, who was Stuart Dougal at the time, his company, in Gordon Street, and I said to him, I want to leave. He went, Matt, I said, I want to leave. He says, you sure? I went, aye. So I signed my paper on the Thursday night, and I went in the Friday and told Alan Eames I'm away. He went, you're not going anywhere. I went, aye, I'm away.
I spoke to them, I'm gone, aye.
And Billy Reid, who was at Clyde at the time.
Yep. Ex-teammate at Hamilton, good pal.
Got me into Clyde. Roy McDonald gave me the opportunity to go to Clyde, and away we went.
Aye, brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. So
Great
just
times at
and again, it was only up the road. I was there. I was
Yep.
at Clyde for 3 years.
I don't want to mess about at Clyde, but I want to go on to St Mirren because
But when I left Clyde in the December 2003, the week before Christmas, I played my last game for Clyde, and they were sitting at the top of the league, and I left them with 3 points clear. I played against Ayr United, beat them, and left. And I went to St Mirren, got the opportunity, because my first was the manager, asked me to come be assistant player. And I knew, no disrespect to Clyde, but St Mirren a big club, big potential club. And just needed guided. But I went there, they were second bottom in the league. So I gave the Tampa League with a possibility to get into the Premier League with Clyde to the second bottom of St Mirren. And that's it.
And that's what you've got to do.
Yeah, well.
So see that part where you were going to be the kind of assistant player manager? Was that in your mind? You're thinking to yourself, I'm getting ready for some sort of assistant management, even though you had many years still to go.
I was coaching at
as
Morton.
well. Yep.
I was coaching at Clyde even with Billy, because Alan Kernigan was the manager. Top player, top player. Alan Kernigan played at Middlesbrough, Man City, St Johnstone, then came here. Top player, but wasn't he probably a manager? But so influential on the pitch. What a player!
But I've got you there.
Myself and Billy
absolutely
done the majority of the. And no, that Alan was, because he concentrated on being the manager and playing, because he'd played most weeks. But when I went to St Mirren with Gus, now Gus was younger than me, and I said to him, look, if you still want to play, then I'll stop. He said, no, I'm not interested in playing. So he was chucking it, and he says to myself, I said, well, I still want to play. He says, no, that's why you're here and all. So I coached Monday to Friday, and the Saturday I played. And again, really lucky that the group that I went into, there was Simon Latham, Kurt Broadfoot, Brian McGinty,
Hugh Murray,
Shuggy,
David Van Zanten.
He came. He was there. David was there.
John Sutton.
John Sutton came in
later on as well.
Stuart Keane came in and all that. But to play with these guys, I played. I was the older one. I played in the back. Then I played in the midfield. You had Mavis as well. He brought Mavis in. Kevin McGowan was there as well. But the younger ones were the ones who bought into everything. So Van Zanten moved on. Latham moved on. Sutton moved on. Keane moved on. Charlie Adam came and played in that team and all that. They were all young boys, were sponges. And the biggest compliment I can give all the boys that I played with, they reinvigorated me and made you feel part of something.
Absolutely.
But they players were, it was brilliant to see. I got the biggest kick I get. The biggest kick I get is they boys moving to a better level and getting money.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
And Simon Latham went to Norwich City. John Sutton moved to Hearts, and he went to Australia, but down south, and Van Zanten went to Hibs.
I know.
But they were all different players, all got the opportunity, and that's what the game's about.
And you've got a bit of personal pride there. You're like,
but they done that. They were all part of it. Brilliant. It's brilliant. Brilliant. It gives you the buzz. The dressing room is brilliant. Shuggy Murray, understand why people say Tony Fitzpatrick is a legend, Scottish Cup winner. The proper legend for me is Shuggy Murray. Shuggy Murray's the one that's played all the games, most games for St Mirren Football Club.
Unbelievable.
And a proper legend. You're talking about guys who are humble. You don't get any more humble than him.
Well, you must have paid him a few quid, because having spoken to him, he's just reciprocated the same. Like, in his own words, an absolute legend.
Doug. He's a Doug. Me and him were the shovelers in there, in the middle of the park, and then you had Charlie Adams. So we done all the donkey work, the shoveling, and he just went and done the things that me and him couldn't do.
Aye, brilliant.
So just great time, great place.
And you won some trophies.
Won the double.
Aye. Promotion and Scottish Challenge Cup.
What I would say sometimes, I think that team's a wee bit doesn't exist in St Mirren's eyes, because Tom Henry, who done really, really well, Tom Henry get promotion in the Premier League. That team is always get a lot of plaudits. But if you go and do St Mirren people go and do their work and go and do their stats, they'll find that team was up there with the best, albeit in the Championship, and also to win the double and how they won it was remarkable. Remarkable.
Do you remember the score in the final in the Challenge Cup?
Big shot at the back post.
Yep.
9-9 at the back post, and up we went.
And again, there's no affiliation for Ayr that day.
No, it's Hamilton.
Hamilton, the first one, Ayr the second one.
Aye.
Brilliant.
I've been fortunate.
So what's that like then?
I've won three.
Aye.
I've won three. I won two with Hamilton. I beat Ayr United. The first one, the Hamilton one, we beat Morton.
That's right.
And then the last one, which to win something at that would be
40.
That'd be 40 if goes 41.
Brilliant.
You know what I mean? So to win a league and to even win a medal, I mean, you can through all your career and players that like myself who have been all different levels.
Yep.
So I'll cut the Premier League, but below that you don't win many trophies. No. And that's what I'm saying, that people say about the Challenge Cup, the Iron Brew, whatever you want to call it. For me, it should be back to where it used to be. It used to be only League One, or Championship, League One, League Two. That's it.
That's it. Leave
your
it alone.
Foreign teams, or no foreign team, but Wales, Ireland, no innit.
Leave it alone.
And all you used to do was play one game midweek, next game
That's
midweek,
it, yep.
next game, and maybe play 4 games, you win the final.
Aye.
That's how it should be.
And one of your finals was on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, which I found was brilliant.
Oh, just
Different class.
The St Mirren one against Hamilton late on was at Airdrie Stadium, was full house. That was held up for 25 minutes.
10,500 at that game.
25 minutes. But St Mirren, unbelievable club. Massive.
So what was it
club.
like when you won it then? So I'm going for the Challenge Cup with St Mirren first before promotion. So when you won that, as you get fond memories of just being on the park that day? Because it was on the telly and it was brilliant.
It was great. It was great being there, but I had by that time my daughter and my son, what age would he be? That'd be 200. So you might get one at maybe 10, another one at 13, 14.
And were they at the game?
They were at the game, and then we were on the park. So
amazing.
Brilliant.
Aye.
I mean,
and have you still got loads of pictures and loads of memories of that? Don't know.
No, I don't. I've got pictures, but I don't. You could come into my house and you wouldn't even know anybody plays football in there. I mean, I don't mean I've got all these things.
But you look back now and that's something that nobody will ever take that away from you ever.
It was great. It was great. And then, as I say, you love that with the atmosphere, the crowd. The club was brilliant. St Mirren was a great club. And then you go at the end of the season and you win promotion.
When did you know you were on a good thing with St Mirren for winning promotion? When did you know in yourselves?
We lost, which was a really, really low blow in my career at St Mirren. We lost the quarter final to Gretna the year that they got to the final.
Yep.
We lost.
You should have got the final that year.
We lost quarter final, and it was I would partly blame. I was picking up the big boy Duker, who's 6'6". I'm 5'10.5", but he got across. But Charlie Adams was meant to be on the back post. But Charlie being Charlie, as the balls get heated, Charlie's walking off the back post. Charlie should have stayed there. Ball went in. And I always remember feeling really, really, I thought we'd get a chance to get in another semi-final. I played in a few semi-finals.
Yep.
And the big games, even the semi-final are big games. But deep down, that week we went in training. And I remember, I'll always say, the cooker's getting turned up. And the cooker was turned up then. We had, I can't remember how many games we had left. Just say for talks, we had, I don't know, 10 games.
There wasn't more than 10,
right,
10 games.
9 or 10 games. And I remember saying to them, because Gus was talking and I would talk, but I was still one of the players as well. But saying, look, gas marks up to 6 and see if we can handle it. Just tell him and let's get out, because we need to go and win the league now. And that probably helped us win the league, getting knocked out of the Scottish Cup. I don't think we would have won the league because the group itself was a really, really tight, close group. No a lot of numbers. So St Mirren ran me a really, really tight ship. And that probably pushed us on to go and win the league. And we did. We won the league at the end up comfortably.
And what was that like, magic?
Oh, brilliant. But as I say, I'd never won the league.
Where did you win the league then?
Won the league at Love Street.
At Love Street, brilliant.
Won the league at Love Street. We beat Dundee. Quick story on that. Goalkeeper. I can't remember his name.
Your goalie?
Aye.
Snow Smith?
No,
Snow
that's no smudge. But anyway, I was talking about him during the week. But anyway, he's in, and he's actually went by the post and let the ball hit the post and go back out. Stephen Craigs ran in, scored, and the next minute, I've looked over, after about 20-25 minutes, Love Street's probably got 7,500 in it. He's got Big Chris Smith warming up. Do Gus is? I'm going, what's happening here? Next minute the board went, dunk, 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 dunk. He took the goalie off after 25 minutes. Your goalie off.
Aye.
Put Chris Smith on. Wow, what's going on? That's what he done. We went on and won the game. I think we won the game 2-1 or 3-1.
Yep, you said 2-1, aye.
But the atmosphere in the place was brilliant.
Oh, I can imagine.
Great. As I say, even at, I don't know, it was 41 would be 41 to win the league.
That's unbelievable.
Brilliant. And to see all the young ones that were playing, and they were young. They were good ages. No babies, but they were early 20s. Some maybe slightly younger than 20, up to that 20, and they were brilliant. And see the happiness in their faces is even better.
Different class.
And again, with that, they got the opportunity to go and play in the Premier League, and that's what's, everybody wants to play at the highest level they can.
And so I asked numerous guests this question. So when you went to Premier League, or when you went and played football in general, what was your best stadium for atmosphere, do you think? Or for when you walked out, you thought to yourself, wow.
Well, my first time at Kilmarnock, 93, 94, and remember I had made my debut at Ibrox, playing for the reserves, St Johnstone reserves in 83, which was, there was nobody there. And Kilmarnock had filled the bottom end of the way end. That day days they gave the full end.
Yep, aye.
So we went out to warm up, and they were full. So you're warming up. Ibrox was empty as such. And I remember this day walking down the tunnel, and there's a slope in the tunnel at Ibrox. You walk down, and it just went bum. You just come out. The Rangers hadn't been beat there for best part maybe over 2 seasons, and we came down, and the noise was incredible.
Unbelievable.
So that noise will always stick by me. Big Celtic and Rangers are
massive clubs.
If you, I don't mean that in a cheeky way. People, and it can only be if you play for Celtic and Rangers. You can only understand what like it is when you're on the pitch. You don't hear yourself.
No,
you don't hear. It's like an aeroplane sometimes when it's going. You don't hear a thing. You're shouting and you don't hear a thing.
Don't hear anything.
And especially when the Celtic and Rangers are really going and they're after you,
Aye.
it can be. I mean, I've had a few downs. I've won.
Yep.
I've had a few downs. I remember being at Hibs getting beat 7 at Ibrox.
Aye.
One of the few games, and that was incredible as well. Just noise.
Constant.
But get back to the first one, Ibrox, Celtic Park, and Tynecastle's just for me. Just Tynecastle. Take the old firm away. Tynecastle's a magnificent arena.
Aye, brilliant. So I'd ask you another couple of questions before we nearly finish up the interview. Who was some of the best players you've played with? Was there one that stuck out? I know you've played with numerous ones, and it's no.
I don't mean I played with a lot of good players, and I've been lucky to play a lot of good players. Big names, if you want to call big names: McCluskey, Burns, Stark. I'll go even Williamson into that. Geddes, and talking about Scottish terms. I played with Jim Leighton, goalkeeper at Hibs. I even played with Ray Wilkins. I played in the middle park with Ray Wilkins. Top player. Yeah. Top player.
Brilliant. So you brought your career to an end at Queen's Park?
That what happened. A Friday morning, I'm washing 2 motors where I stay. I got a phone call. Gardner Spears says, I knew hello, but I didn't know. How you doing? I want you to do me a favour. What are you doing? I says, I'm washing 2 motors. I says, what is that? He says, what have you been doing? What kind of condition you in? I said, I'm alright. I says, I train a baby. Kevin McGowan and Jim Muir up at Brecon. I go there 2 nights a week up at Kinross. He went, I want you to play for me. I went, I can't do that. He says, no. I said, I've not played for about over 2 years. I says, I'd keep myself. I said, but I can't do that. Because I finished playing at St Mirren, and then that would be 2000, going on to 2011 that was. And then he says, no, I need you to play. So I went and met him, had a cup of tea, and I went, nah, I'm not doing that. He says, look, please, he says, I'm short of players, we're really struggling with the second bottom in the second division, blah, blah, blah. I said, right, I'll help you out tomorrow. Down to Annan, done my usual preparation, got up in the early in the morning, had my breakfast, went back to my bed, got a phone call probably around about 11 o'clock. Game's off, Andy. I said, brilliant. I said, I've been thinking about that. I said, no more. That's no, I need you for Tuesday. I went, what? He said, we've got the game on Tuesday. He said, so come in tomorrow night, we'll train Monday. Right, in there, trained the Monday, played in Annan, never played at Annan before, another tick list. Played there, beat Annan, and then just went on for there. But I went for second bottom into the playoff. But Gardner Spears was brilliant for me. Again, just I was in no one's doing nothing, revitalised, going to play with young boys. I played with Paul McGinn, Ricky Little, Daryl Meggett. Myself was a back four. Then the boy McBride in the middle of the park. There was Jamie Longmo. There's another wee guy, brilliant player off the front. I can't remember. Michael Daly. I can see his face. But just brilliant.
Was it quite nice to play at Hampden every other week?
Well, the laugh was the first game I played against East Stirling, and I came out and I was laughing. And the girl, I went, "What are you laughing at?" I went, "What am I laughing at?" I said, "I can't believe I'm playing here every week." Big pitch.
That's brilliant.
You coming on 46, trying to move about here.
Aye.
It was brilliant. And the wee plug to that is the kit man was a brilliant guy, really nice guy, and he went like to me, gave me my gear. We played the Tuesday, and on Saturday played East Stirling. No money, no hiding any secrets. Went the following Thursday to get my training gear. So on the training gear's your wage packet. You should not get any big bonus money there. I said, "Listen, I know that." I opened up in front of him, I went, "There you go." I was getting 32 quid a week to play at Queen's Park.
That's unbelievable.
32.
Aye.
So I wasn't playing for money. And I says to him,
of
"My wife goes to shopping Asda tomorrow." I said, "He's going to spend a lot more than that." I said, "So the £32, but Queen's Park, a fantastic club. I know it's changed now,
Yep.
but in my time there, another very, very well run, good club.
Aye.
With
Watch this
good
space,
people.
aye.
And again,
Absolutely.
Garner Spears for me, I can't thank him enough
Brilliant.
for keeping me alive.
Here's a question that just popped into my head. Have you played at every Scottish stadium?
Well,
And,
see then, I hadn't played at Annan, hadn't
Right.
played at Elgin, played them all. Peterhead, a lot.
there's not many players that said that.
A lot.
No many players have got
Played
that.
them all.
So, a wee message for some of our younger listeners. What kind of advice would you give somebody that's coming in the game now that listens to the show?
I think the game's changed so much now. The one thing I would always say to young players, yeah, everything's about technique. It is about technique. You've got to be able to control and pass the ball. In my eyes, if you can't control and pass the ball by the time you're 16 and you go into another level, you're no good. But the one thing you've got to have a hunger, desire, and enthusiasm, and you've got to be disciplined. The way the game is now, if you're not disciplined, there's no guarantee that that'll get you to where you want to get to. But what it will give you a chance.
Brilliant.
But without that drive and that enthusiasm, and the only thing I would say for parents, if they're listening, don't make your son or your daughter snowflake. Don't make them soft. There's no point in being soft, because the game that they want to get involved in is a ruthless, a lot of knocks. And don't think that for 1 minute I've had plenty of knocks, and there'll be something else coming sooner rather than later. There's plenty of knocks, so there's only a small minority that play the game, go through the game untouched, unscathed. And if you accept the knocks and you lie down and get as I call it, a tickle, nobody cares about you. But if you stand up and march and fight, you'll open a few doors. You might not get to where you want to get to, but you'll survive somewhere.
Brilliant. Great bit of advice. So, 753 games, 30 goals, 25 seasons, the oldest Scottish outfield player, a remarkable career. And I've spoke to numerous people about you, numerous ex-players, players you played with, managers, and every one of them is aligned with the people who are listening today. You're an absolute legend in our Scottish football game, and I'm absolutely delighted to have had you on the show. So thanks very much,
No,
Andy.
I appreciate it, Ryan.
I really appreciate it.
Come on.
That's the end of the show, everybody. I think you'll agree that was just absolutely unbelievable. Please make sure you check us out on our socials, TikTok, YouTube. Please subscribe, guys. It helps a lot. Instagram and Facebook. And Sexton Soccer Stories is on the road next Saturday at Queen's Park versus Hamilton. So, guys, please come up, say hello. If you want me to get some pictures or speak to anybody in particular when we're there, please just let us know. But thank you again. Thanks very much to Andy.
Thank you.
Scottish football, keep smiling.